So I manage most things operational here at Lorna Jane, obviously specifically around the distribution, the stock, the logistics side of the business. It's a good little Aussie story, I guess. There was a dental assistant / yoga instructor in Cairns and fell in love with a butcher named Bill. And Lorna didn't obviously love what was available in the market from an activewear space and started making her own. And it hit the sweet spot. Our sales team, they operate on a Salesforce platform. Then that's backed up with our Commistry, OMS and PIM. Which we've had PIM for a while. OMS, the OMS component was something we implemented last year as well. Alongside, then we went with Peoplevox, obviously as our overall warehouse solution that runs our global network. So we operate that in all of our countries, and then obviously for that a global solution in Starship It to obviously make it simplified from a global shipping perspective, and then spread out through our store network as well. No, it was all fairly similar. Like, obviously, there's the usual. Is it scalable? Is it going to see us through, a numerous years of growth? I don't want to be doing, major projects and updating system stacks every 5 minutes. Is it going to be a global solution? That was ultimately for me. Can it work in all the markets we're in? Can it functionally operate, translate, do what it needs to do? But ultimately, I love to find partners and strategic partners in this that, that can work together and grow together. Like I want to have partners that are constantly challenging and evolving their own systems. So I get the best out of what the one thing we know about e-comm is that it's consistently changing and evolving. So you don't want an archaic partner that's going to think they've got the perfect stack and sit there and do nothing with it. You want constant evolution, because that's where we want constant evolution, and together we can achieve that. It's a full end-to-end. It runs our whole operations in all of our domestic DCs. For me, I needed a digital solution. I had a very basic, old school analog kind of system in lots of ways, and I needed to digitize it and bring it into the right century. For me, I'm extremely about productivity. And that's where I really needed a system that would drive that and enable me to measure that in every aspect. So every part from the inbounding side, my inbounding is phenomenal now. Like it was, it's streamlined. It drives accuracy. I guess for me, I needed a system that held accountability, gave productivity, but drove accountability as well. Having multiple DCs and large teams, sometimes sitting in one country of the world, you want to make sure that everyone's doing the right thing, and I needed a system that gave me that visibility over the whole thing. So that was a part of my selection at Peoplevox. Our DCs are driven to be pure e-comm fulfillment centers predominantly. Yes, we do service some wholesale customers out of here. Yes, we have a store replenishment model out of our local DCs to our stores as well. So if we don't get that global allocation perfect, we can top up and do that. And Peoplevox did all those things, but predominantly I was after the racehorse of an e-comm system. So and that's what it delivered. So. Well, for me, like we got a 35% productivity improvement out of our picking. So that alone, is phenomenal. Like that optimization of the picking routes, and how. So it went from people walking 15 aisles, now they're walking 2 or 3, and they're picking their 12 orders in those 2 or 3 aisles. So just the simplicity of it and that algorithms that sit within it, it allowed an efficient operating. So all of this productivity improvement. Honestly, especially in Queensland up here, the last sort of few months has been probably our most severe lockdown and COVID impacted times. It allowed me not to miss a beat. So we didn't have orders not going out within our delivery promise and time frame. We never had these restraints because of the productivity improvement. I didn't need as many people necessarily to operate our warehouses. It allowed me, I could spread the team out even further, and it gave transparency within it where everybody was at. So the communication between the A shift and the B shift became simplified because of the system. So it's allowed me to get through, the last 6 months very well. it's our New Zealand warehouse is just growing exponentially. So it allowed me to scale up pretty quickly there. We just, add in some more scanners and turn on a couple of more licenses, and away we go. And we're humming. It really doesn't change bringing new team on. So I implemented we implemented all the DCs through COVID. So we did the implementation remotely. John Peters, my logistics manager, and myself, into America and New Zealand. So the ease of the operating of the system, we could do that remotely. Like, that was 2 major implementations in 2 major DCs. So it's I found it very user-friendly and easy. I'm the good judge of that. If I can use it well, it's easy for everyone else to use. So, we can bring on a team member within 10 minutes. They're up and picking at a reasonable pace. So the inbounding, like the guys just keep finding more and more features and ways to utilize the system to create better processes. So it's allowed me to get through a pretty challenging time with COVID and different things. And I know that I'll be safe into the future. I know that I'm gonna, we could double in size quite easy and still be very, very sound within the system. So. Look, we had some pretty significant growth within those periods. It honestly, we sat back and we felt weird, because I remember vividly previous Black Fridays, everyone was walking out of the warehouse just a wreck, like sweaty messes. We were just all exhausted. I literally was running around the office going, "Hey, who's got an hour? Let's get out in the warehouse. Let's pick some orders."
Yeah.
We managed it all ourselves within our own department, our own teams, and it kind of felt odd, because we were like, I was even second guessing the numbers at some point. I'm like, are we even ahead on target, or what are we doing here? I'm like, we're massively ahead, but we just didn't. The productivity and the operation, it was a breeze this year. Honestly, it was an absolute pleasure. So it was a good time that the fruits of all the work that we did really did pay off in the busiest time. Like we cruised through pretty much, but pumped out significant amounts more. So it was good.